Hello, everybody. Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It's about 4 o'clock here in Dallas. Jerome Powell, he was out there today, and they're not going to raise interest rates at least in the short term. The market moved up a little bit about that, but I don't believe it. Personally, I think that we're going to have another downward leg. And we haven't seen the end of this pullback. Now we're down. The market is in correction, and we're not technically in a bear market yet, but we may go into a bear market. So you want to be in cash right now. I know it's tempting to buy a lot of these stocks like Microsoft and other stocks like that. I'm just really not very bullish. I actually, though, did buy two stocks today. One is MATX, which is Matson. It's a shipping line, and it will benefit from inflation, which I think we're going to get a ton of. And also, I bought an oil stock, and the oil stocks are doing pretty well. The oil stock being Matador Resources, because it's really nicely set up. So, without further ado, let's go through some of the slides here. By the way, if you're looking on TikTok, super easy. Just you can jump right over to the show. Basically, all you have to do is go to Dallas. You have to go to YouTube/Dallas Trading Floor, and we're live right now with all the charts and everything else like that on there. So here's what we've got. Here's the stock that I did buy today. It's Matador Resources, MATX. Now I think it's a little bit down. I'm a little bit down after hours. Let's take a gander here on the chart to see kind of what has happened here. Well, it's at 94, so it did pull back a little bit here. I bought at 95.80, and I set my stop loss here at 91. It did pull back, but it's still holding above that critical. And it did kind of it came into the close here. It looks like it hopefully has some support there at about 94. Looking at it, the buy point on this one, 93.17. So we've definitely pulled above the pivot. We pulled back a little bit, and hopefully we're gonna hold on this one, because this is one of the few sectors right now that is doing really, really well. This one has 100% checklist, and if we look at the pattern recognition, we're basically just right above that pivot, 2% above that pivot today, and with a cup with handle formation. This is a good formation, and on the technicals, we're above every major index line: 200-day, 50-day, 21-day, and the 10-day. So this is looking fairly strong here. Hopefully, we'll be able to hold. Now, there is some concern, some caution here. We are going to be having earnings in 22 days, so we've got to be careful about that. Switching over to the weekly chart here, let's take a look at some of the technicals on this one. Looking pretty darn good. It's up basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the last 5 quarters, with 20% or better the last 4 quarters. So we're expecting a very strong quarter for this one. Matson lines. We're expecting a very strong quarter for this one. I did buy this one today. Let's see. Did I give you the wrong info? I might have. Let's take a look here. Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. I was looking at Matson. Yeah, this is Matson. Green all the way down, very strong, and I do think we're going to have a very nice. It's gonna do well. I did buy today. Let's take a look at the buy point there. Yes, and we did. Yeah, the pivot is 93.17. We bought right above that, 95.80. So hopefully that's pretty good. Now I only bought a half position here, so that's something else that we might want to kind of be very wary about. I only bought a half position here on Matson, but I think this one possibly is going to benefit from inflation. I do expect that we're going to have a lot of inflation. The interest rates are not being raised for now, but I do expect they're going to be, and I do expect inflation to just rage. If they just sit on the interest rates like they're doing, we're going to have a lot of inflation. That's why I chose Matson today. Also, I bought Matador Resources. This one is this one is a oil company. MTDR is the symbol on this one. So I'm going to jump on over here to the I'm going to just jump on over here to the chart on this one. This one did it kind of got rejected a little bit. It's at 44. It went up. I bought basically very small position, basically a quarter position at 46.59. Unfortunately, it moved up, but then it was immediately rejected. So that's part of the reason for the smaller positions on this one. Smaller positions, definitely are a little bit safer. This is a tough market to trade, and but this one has an 89 checklist, which is good. This one didn't hold up quite as well as this one didn't hold up quite as well as Matson, but I do expect that in this sector, it's going to be pretty good based on the fact that we're going to probably see a lot of inflation. So and that will that will create create a lot of issues. Here's kind of what I have currently. I only have two things right now. It's amazing. I have two currently stocks held long. That's Matson, of course. It's up today. When this slide was taken, it was up today. Now, the Matador was up earlier. It did retreat a little bit at the end of the day. Hopefully, we'll hold it on Matador there. But basically, midday, they were both up. Not a lot, but I don't have very large positions in them either. So that's kind of the deal there. Just wanted to show you the major indexes. Now, this is a little bit stale because I took this right about when Powell was speaking. So this is going to kind of give us sort of an idea. All the major indexes at that time were up: the Dow, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Russell. Let's take a look, though. I think that we might have had a decline in the Nasdaq towards the end of the day. Let's see if I could bring that up for us here, and that's going to be the Nasdaq. And of course, this is where many of the big techs, many of the big techs are. This is where Microsoft is and Apple. So here, let's take a gander at the at the techs. At the Nasdaq index. We did pull up right after Jerome Powell, and then we pulled back down. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. This kind of gives us a good feel for it. When Jerome Powell started talking, let's go to the 5-minute chart. When Jerome Powell started talking, we moved up very nicely. That's right about 2 o'clock here, 14:20. And then after he started talking, it sank. So this is the reason I am not bullish right now in the market. I mean, I think that when Jerome Powell went to speak, it was looking pretty good, and the market went up to the Nasdaq 14 went up to 14 and 2. But then after he started talking, it went down. So I do expect we're going to have a further retracement in this. We're gonna move lower. We're just gonna move lower, and that's part of the reason I am a little bit bearish on the market right now. Basically, the bulls versus the bears. The amount of bulls that's in the red has been going down, whereas the bears have been pretty consistent. But when the bulls come down and meet the bears, like it did back here, as you can see, that shows a market bottom. So we're not really close to the market bottom yet, but I do expect that we may see some more movement down. Okay, well, let's see. I think this is the last one here. Bears versus. Okay, so before we get to the questions, just wanted to put up here for everybody. If you haven't gotten our January 2022 watch list, it's a great watch list because when we get a follow-through day, this is going to be a good opportunity to come back into the market And the way you get that super easy, just go to this address, https://bit.ly/DTF0075. These are zeros, not O's. So DTF0075, and you'll get that nice watch list, and also the ready list. It's basically the ready and the watch list too. So kind of a good a good thing to get. All right, so let's take the questions. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being so patient. Thoughts on the bear put spread on Teledoc? You know, Teledoc has been moving up. So let's look at TDoc, and we're going to see Teledoc Health has been moving up, but then it's starting to move down. So the price on Teledoc currently is 70. So let's kind of see where that is in terms of what we're looking at. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that 70 basically price, and I'm just going to copy it here. Let's do that right now. 70, and then I'm going to go bring up the I'm going to bring up the slides for that trade. Let me just pull that up here. And it takes a second for it to come up. TDoc, of course, is the symbol for Teledoc Health. And let's go to that. And I'm going to select that, put that in here. And let's pull this up in just a second. As you can see, the overall trend for Teledoc is lower. So I'm fairly confident that we're going to see it move even further lower. But we're not there yet. So let's take a look at kind of where we're looking now. When the slide was taken, Teledoc was at 74, and now it's at 74.24. So quite a bit lower. So let's see what we can find out. How that bear trade is going, and of course, as a stock goes lower on a bear trade, that's where you're going to see it. That's where you're going to get a different price. So let me pull up another screen of this right here. It's TDoc, of course, TDOC, and okay. So I'm bringing up the bear call spread for that. So let's add that. Here we go. So no, quite. Let me get this up here in a second. Yeah. I've got so many screens going on that I don't know. I'm not being totally. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, this is the actual slide deck that we have, and we're going to go to the second slide, which is kind of kind of what we use to figure out kind of what the fair value is. The current price, because we just took a look at it, is right about 70. So let's take, let's put in the price for that. Let me just clip in this. Yeah, there we go. Clip in the price, and there we go. It's $70 in the after hours trading. So let's kind of locate it. And so we were way up here, but as you can see, we've come down once again. So it's starting to move in the right direction. That's definitely for sure. It's the 26th today, so let's kind of put that there. And then I'll just kind of sort of connect the dots here with this. But as you could see earlier, what was going on, we started out here, it popped way up, and now it's popped down. So the value of this trade currently, right out of the starting gates, is about 60. We did have it move very strongly. We had it move very strongly up. So we were there yesterday. It chopped up. Then we're pulling down. So I am very confident that we're going to be moving in the right direction on that trade. So let's take a look on once again at the chart. Okay, goodness. Let's see. Just moving it over to the other screen. It's I have too many things going on here, but here's the chart of Teledoc, and that's the Nvidia chart. Sorry, let's go to the daily chart here, And so there we go. And this is going to be T-Doc is the, there we go, Teledoc Health. Okay, so as you can see, we popped up a little bit. Let's go to the 30-minute chart so we can see that. We popped up a little bit like that up to 77 yesterday, and then we're started to continue that trend downward. We're right now at about 70, and as you can see, as this stock goes lower, we are going to benefit. And I don't think that there's been any change in the Teledoc chart. So I think that, you know, it's just a little bit of noise. It's a volatile market right now, but we're headed downwards. So thank you very much, Matt, for that question. I'm going to be holding in that that chart because of you know where we're at currently on that. So thank you very much. All right, let's take a look at XLF. XLF is the ETF that cracks the financials. It kind of took a bounce on the news from Powell. It went down and then boom, it's let's look at see how it ended the day. It's very volatile. Yeah, it's starting to turn over a little bit. When Powell was speaking, it was going up, and then at the end of the day, it kind of collapsed. I just don't think there's a lot of power in this market right now, and I do think that it's likely to go lower, even though it's anticipating a rate hike, and so you would think it would go up. But I am relatively bearish on the market right now. As you know, most of my trades are bear trades, or they're iron condors, which is essentially a volatility trade that I have in some of my shares. But the XLF, I think you ought to be careful with it. I would be setting stop losses on my XLF trade. I'm going to kind of give you the idea of where I would be in terms of that. I think that you have to be, you have to be looking. You have to be looking at possibly a support level at about 35. So I don't think I would let it move below about 35 right now on the charts. That's kind of my take on it. All right. Okay. Hey, thank you. Suggestion on Microsoft. You didn't suggest to sell it, so I kept it and made some money. Okay, great. Bought some Tesla. Okay, at 900 is a support level for Tesla. This is a tough market to trade. I'll be honest with you. I don't have any Microsoft right now, but I do have. I do think that it's got a little bit of support. It's a great stock. It's just that the market is essentially in a downward trend. I would be careful with Microsoft, though. I would push up my stop loss. I want to protect that gain because, boy, I tell you, not an easy market to trade at all. But Microsoft, good stock. It's just that, and you can see, and let's pull that up. I want to show you the chart here for Microsoft. We basically had this bounce below the 200-day line. It got support, which is so important. It pulled below that, and I'm not surprised that it got support there. The reason being, of course, is this is one of the most widely held stocks out there, and it definitely bounced. Now, would I buy a lot of this? No, but I might start scaling into a position. This is a premier stock. It's a long-term leader, and it is a great stock. But I'm glad you held it. I'm glad you made profit. Now with Tesla, I am still trying to find another entry point into Tesla. I'm a little bit concerned about some things, but I think they're going to have great earnings. I've been saying this, forever and a day, and I just sort of like a broken record here on Tesla. I'm not in Tesla, but I'm waiting for the earnings. Earnings are basically, the earnings are coming. Oh, we did have earnings today. And after hours, boy, it was up 218%. Not bad at all. Boy, I knew the earnings were going to be good. I didn't expect them that good. Let's look at the after hours chart on this. I just want to see if it could buck the market. It's tough because, we had a very nice bounce. They just announced. It looks like Tesla just announced. Looks like they beat. It looks like they beat, and we're up $5. Not a whole lot, but definitely held. And if it moves above this reversal line that I have drawn here, that's probably a good place to get in. The fact that you got in at 900, that's phenomenal. that's phenomenal. I definitely think it's a buy above about 979 or 980. But looking very good on that. Great. I'm glad that it worked for you. Tesla is one of the great stocks, and if you can buy it at this level, you're probably going to win. You're probably going to win. Okay. Oh, earnings are out. Let's see. What do you think about Hess? This is a question coming from TikTok. Hess is an oil company, and it's an integrated oil company. And as you know, I like those. It's right in a potential pattern here. It is a cup without handle that it did get support. There is a 92.79 buy point on Hess, symbol HES. It's up after hours. This is the kind of stuff that you ought to be looking for. It's right below the 10-day line, but it's got support at 200, at 50, at 21 days, so it's all looking good. The checklist on this is very, very good. It's an 89 checklist. I instead bought Matador today because it had a 100% checklist, but this is a great company. It's international E&P. It's number 3 out of 197. So this is a very, very strong area of the market. You're good to be looking in this area. I think this is a winning stock, and I definitely think you could buy it. I definitely think you can buy it here, but be careful. I would make sure that I had a stop loss at the 200-day line or at about 80. So that's kind of what I would look. But I think you've got a winner with Hess. I think that's a very good stock, and I think it's going to do extremely well. It looks like Tesla did very, very well in the earnings. I'm gonna jump back over here to Tesla and take a look to see if I can get any news about earnings here. Let's see. News. Okay, Tesla stocks follow despite earnings beat. Okay, this is very interesting. I'm going to pull this up here. Yeah, interesting. Let's see if we can share that that screen. And this is on Tesla earnings. So basically, Tesla stock did fall despite the earnings beat. Can you believe that? That is just amazing. But it looks like it's moving up in the after hours, so that is good. Tesla reported better than expected fourth quarter earnings late Wednesday, but the U.S.-based electric vehicle says supply chain issues continue to slow production. But remember, Tesla is in a much better position than GM, Volkswagen, just about everybody else, because they have the capability to in-house reprogram the chips. So the chip shortage does not affect Tesla nearly as much as the other companies. I want to be very, very clear on that. It looks like they had some tremendous deliveries, 308,600 vehicles. Wow, that's really good. So they actually are very close to a record-breaking. Wow, this is really good. Their deliveries, mostly the Model 3s and the Ys, but boy, that's looking good. And let's see, the German factory will continue to produce the bulk of vehicles tested for Europe. Okay to produce. Okay, so they got their first 2,000 in Berlin. This is significant. This is very, very significant. As you know, I'm sort of a Tesla. I am a Tesla bull. Now, remember though, just like it says down here, the market is in correction. So even though Tesla has done incredible stuff, we got to be a little bit careful buying it just because the market is in overall decline. So we got to be careful. We're swimming against the tide. That's always a tough thing to do. Hey Jim, Tesla doing a Microsoft after hours after. Well, Elon said, I think I am a long-term bull on Tesla. I really am. I'm a long-term bull on Tesla. I think it's a great stock, and but I definitely think you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your capital. I would have my, I don't like it below 900, but I definitely think if it moves to 980, you could probably start moving in again. But it is a downtrending market, so it's a tough market to buy in. But long term, even in the next year or so, I see Tesla really doing incredible things. Really incredible things. Hey, Jim, your thoughts on Draftkings, maybe puts? All right. Well, I am a big fan of shorting, but the problem, I don't like to buy naked puts. I like to buy the spreads, and the reason I do is because it can be difficult sometimes. You can think that and you can have everything go right, but it doesn't work on the timing, and that's where I think you need some downside protection. I'm all about that. That's one of the reasons I do the bear trades, the bear spreads, because of that. Let's look at DraftKings. DKNG is, of course, the symbol for DraftKings, and it is gone. It didn't. It had a little bit of a bounce here. It had a little bit of a bounce, but it is finally trading above that reversal line. I have a reversal line, and I've had it for a long time. Let's reactivate that. And that kind of shows it. So we're above the reversal line. That is good. We're seeing some nice strength come in. We're still very, very. This could be a reversal. I wouldn't be a short on this one because this could possibly be a reversal. Yeah, you could possibly reverse. I'm on the fence on this one. Um, uh, Drunk Squidward. I'm on the fence because I do think this could be a reversal here. I would not buy it. We've got about 3 weeks to earnings, so that's enough time. But I would not be a buyer of it, and I wouldn't be a short of it either because I think it could turn against us. So I would go slow on the puts. I would absolutely go slow on the puts. All right, we all have a question about Neo, and this is the one on the stock that just has not lived up to expectations, unfortunately, and I think it's still continuing its decline. Right now, it's at 11 relative strength. That means that 89% of all the stocks out there are doing better than Neo. So that's kind of disappointing when it comes to that. Let's look at the technicals. Yeah, it's below every major average. It's below the 200, the 50, the 21 day, and the 10-day. So not looking very, very strong. If you're down more than if you're down more than 7% on this one, please consider selling. Um, you know, uh, this one just you don't want to. This is you don't want to throw. This is starting to get to the catching a falling knife thing right now. We've got to preserve our capital. So if you're down more than 7% on a stock like Neo, please consider possibly selling it because it might not come back right now or may not come back at all. So we've got to be super careful with that. All right. Let's take a look. What's Nvidia's bottom? Well, I did do the short on Nvidia. It's basically a bear put spread. So it's not like buying, it's not like actually shorting, but I do think we're going to see it go lower. I really believe that. This is the chart of Nvidia. And as you can see, it's struggling to get back to that 10-day line. It's below all the major averages with the exception of that 200-day. So I do think that if it pulls below that 200-day, and it tested 2 days ago, it tested below the 200-day. If it can't hold on to that 200-day, it's probably going lower. So I do expect that we're going to see this one move lower. Now it did bounce in the after hours, so hopefully I didn't screw the pooch on that one. Hopefully I didn't, but I do think it's going to go lower, and I don't know if it. We'll see if it can hold on to the 200-day line. But based on this pullback, I think that depending on how it goes, we could see this one move lower. So that's kind of my take on Nvidia right now. Okay. See. Oh, great. Okay, great question. Your thoughts on oil stocks like Exxon, Chevron, or Oxy, those in play at the time of the market? Well, you know what? I do have, by the way, and I don't know if you know this, but I do have a bull trade. It's my only bull. It's my only bull trade right now, and it is, interestingly enough, on Exxon. So let's evaluate this one. Exxon is up a little bit today. It's after hours. It's at 105. So let's kind of do the math on this one. It's at 105. So let's clip that out, and I'm going to go and share. I'm going to go get the slide deck for it. So let's do that. This is Exxon Mobil, of course, and this is a bull trade, a bull put spread, which is interesting because this is the only one that I have on right now. The one I do expect we're going to see the inflation stocks like Exxon. We're going to see them probably rally a little bit. So let's see if I can pull up that screen for you. And let's see if I can do that. All right. Okay, so this is the bull put spread on Exxon that we have currently. Now this is as of today, the current price. Let's see what the current price is, because it was 75. Let's see what it ended up at today. Okay, just going in here and looking to see what the current price of it is. So it did move up significantly, as we can see. Is this right? Can this be right? Wow, if this is, we've done really, really good. Let me make sure that this is the right price on this before I do that. But this is going to be, I think that was wrong. XOM, I gave you the wrong. I was like, boy, that doesn't look right. That looks too good to be true. Yeah, that's more like it. 74. Yeah, that's more like the price in the after hours. That's more like that's more like it. I gave you the wrong price. I gave you the price of the ETF, not of Exxon Mobil. So let's get it correct, Jim. Let's get it correct. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how the true value of this spread based on the closing price. So the closing price was 74.43. So let's take a look. So this is going to pull down a little bit here. It's going to be about 74.40. That's the closest one that we have to it. So currently it's right about there. It's worth, currently in this situation, it's worth, oops, did that, see if I can, yeah, I have to monkey around a little bit. There we go. So based on where ExxonMobil closed, the value of this spread currently, because this is a bull put spread, it's about 168. So it's looking good. It's going in the right direction. If we can just hold it into February 18th, it looks like we're probably going to make all the money on this trade. So this is one of the reasons I love spread trades when the market is volatile like that. So, but I do like Exxon. I do like Oxy right now. Any thoughts on Amazon? Amazon is actually on my radar screen for a potential bear trade, because I do think that it has moved up, and I think it's going to move, but it's going to move lower. And I don't want to kind of, oops, let's see if I can give you the right screen. All right, so we're going to get the screen for Amazon. Here we go. There we go. So for Amazon, we're in this, what happened is we had a very critical thing that just happened. We had a dead cat bounce. And I want to show you this because this is a shorting signal, okay? And that is this. Do you see this red line here and this black line? This black line is the 200-day moving average line, and this red line is the 50-day moving average. When the 50-day crosses below the 200, that is what they call the death cross. And when you have this, that signals very much weakness in the issue. So what's happened is we've already fallen. Now we're going to be trying to rally back to these other lines. It's this is a time for it to this is a time to wait a little bit, because once this 200-day line catches up, you're going to see some rally attempts to this 200-day line. And if it can't rally to this, it's going to find support lower. It's going to support lower. So let's take a look at the weekly chart, which will give us kind of a better view of this. Right now, the bottom of the consolidation is about 28.61. Currently, it's at 27. It's below the resistance, so it is probably going to fall lower. Now, the question is, how low can it go? Well, the next level of support is probably about 22.20. That's probably the next level of support. Now, will it pull that low? I'm not sure, but I definitely think we're going to see it pull back, even though they've had excellent growth in their earnings. But they did take a write down here. I don't know if that's going to happen again. Earnings are in six or 7 days. I wouldn't buy this one in front of earnings. I just wouldn't. There's too many things going on here, and it might not be a great deal. Dead cat bounce. Possibly, we could possibly have a bit of a dead cat bounce on Amazon, if you can believe that. I definitely think Amazon is going to trend a little bit lower. It's still not a broken stock. It's just overvalued. There's a lot of exuberance in the market. There's a lot of stuff pumping into the market. It's going to get back down to more, I think, real valuations, which will mean it will pull back a little bit. All right. What's your schedule for going live? Thank you so very much. I go live basically every day at 4 o'clock Central Time. So, that's sort of what I do. So, I'm live at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time every market day. I really appreciate you asking that question, because that is what we try to do. So I'm basically live every day that the market is open at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's when I'm going live, and I really appreciate that comment. That's a great comment. Thank you so much for that. All right, Jim, market was doing well when Powell started speaking. They changed their mind. Also, Elon speaks at 5:30. I know this is so tough to trade this market. It's just so crazy. They're looking for, there's a lot of people that didn't want Powell. They wanted Powell to make a decision. It's kind of a shit or get off the pot kind of deal. He decided to kick the can down the road. That's the reason I think there was this negative response. Our interest rates are going to have to go up. And the reason that they're going to have to go up is because nobody is buying the U.S. debt right now, okay? China's not buying it. The Middle Eastern countries are not buying it. Japan's not buying it. And the Federal Reserve has been buying it, but it's very, very bad for the economy. That's why we have so much inflation. So now what's going to happen is, in order to curb the inflation, if they don't do this, inflation is going to launch into the stratosphere. So they're going to have to push up the interest rates on the federal debt. And that is going to cause a lot of pain, especially in growth stocks. So this is the reason I'm right now kind of bearish on the market. I'm trying to look at the best winners in the growth area, and I'm trying to do bear trades on them. Why? Because I think that's going to be an area. I also think, though, that some of the stocks that have been beaten down, especially in the oils, like ExxonMobil, like some of the drilling companies, those companies are going to do well, because we're not going to get rid of oil. I know a lot of people in the government would like for us to get rid of oil, but it's not going to happen. And because it's not going to happen, we are going to see a rally in the value of oil. So lots of inflation, everybody. Unfortunately, I wish I could say it wasn't, but there always are places to make money in the market. All right, CLR, my average is 22 on this. Hold or sell? That's a good question. Let's take a look. And thanks for giving the real price, because when you make a decision, it's really based on where you bought it. I mean, that's always the way. Wow. Good looking stock, Continental Resources. I'm really liking this one. So let's take a look and see what's going on. Boy, this is right at the buy point. Do you want to sell this thing? Yeah, boy, you bought it at 22. Congratulations. That is a fantastic. So you bought it right as it came out of this base. Wow. My hat's off to you. This is a great buy. Absolutely a great buy. So you basically bought it before this run. You basically bought it way back here. Wow. January of last year. You have a capital gain. This is very, very nice. You have doubled your money. Here's what I would do. Here's what I would do. I would probably sell half of my position. I think that you have just done. Congratulations on this. This is a tremendous win. So, you're a winner anyways. I would take some of my profits though. I really would take my consider taking my profits. So I would take one half of my profits. And this way, you're going to be dealing with the house money, and this is all's good there. So I think you've done fantastic. Take half of take it, not of my profits. Boy, I got overly excited there. Of your profits, because they're your profits. I wish I had those kind of profits on this one, but you definitely have them. Take your profits. You deserve them. Go out and don't let your round trip any of this. I think it's going to continue to move up, but you absolutely deserve to take some profits here. Here's the thing, as you can see, and this is why everybody, it's so important to look at where these levels of support are, these resistance levels. He bought it right at this consolidation. That's a terrific place to buy. And notice how it moves up to the second consolidation at 32, then the third consolidation, and then a cup with handle with a buy point here. So this is the 1, 2, 3, fourth base. As the bases get further up, they do lose some of their power. So that's why I probably would take profits here. But congratulations, especially on a resource company. That is absolutely incredible. And you should really pat yourself on the back. That's excellent deal. All right, Jim, Kia. Oh, hey, thank you very much, Mohammed. Appreciate it. What do you think about Hess? We talked a little bit about Hess. Hess is a good company. I really like it. I'm just looking here for people that are on TikTok. I just want to talk about thoughts about gold. Very good question. We've been getting a lot of questions on, is gold a good hedge for inflation? And it used to be, but for some reason, it just doesn't quite make it as well as it used to make it. So it's not quite as good a hedge. This might be because of Bitcoin or some of the cryptos, but I just think that right now, the best hedge right now against inflation are oil stocks, believe it or not, because I do think we're going to get lots of inflation. This is the GLD, it's Spider Select Gold Shares, which tracks the price of gold bullion. And it's an interesting vehicle. It's got a 174 buy point. We're currently below that 169. So we are, it is looking like, it might get a little better, but right now it's just not a good time. Gold just has been flat. I want to show you just how flat I'm talking about. This is going all the way back to 2004. And as you can see, this is very interesting. You should always try to buy a stock at its high going higher. And if we go all the way back to 2011, the gold shares, which tracks the price of gold, that's why I could say this, it has not reached the level that it was in 2020. So we are still underperforming. So I am not bullish on this right now. But I do think that if it moves above about 185, then I think we could start moving into these gold shares once again. For some reason, the price of gold just hasn't equaled. It just hasn't equaled. as good as it should. So right now, my inflation is cash, believe it or not, and oil stocks. That's kind of where I'm looking to be invested. All right, Nike or Lululemon for the long term. There's no question. Nike, Lululemon could get hurt. Let's look at Lulu first. And for the long term, Lulu does not. This is not a good chart, by the way. As you can see, we're below that 200-day line. Just do not like that. That's a red flag there. We have it. We're in a downward trend. This is Lululemon here. So this is Lululemon right now, not looking good. So comparing that to Nike, I don't think there's any comparison, to be honest. Nike has a also downward trending chart, but it's much more shallow, and it looks like it may have bottomed. I don't know if it's bottomed or not, but this is just a better chart all the way around. It's a better company. I would go with Nike over Lululemon, even though Lululemon has some good stuff. Yeah, I would go. I would go with Nike on this one. Guys, Tesla is nearing. Yes, I think it's going to get support at. You're absolutely right. TSLA, of course, is the symbol for Tesla. Yeah, 961, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would buy it tomorrow right on the bell, but I do think this is an opportunity. Once again, it seems as if, it's tough because I kind of want to see some more strength here. They had very good numbers. I don't know if it's going to zoom like it did before. It's up $23 after hours. I mean, let's see how this thing opens. But I think that if it pulls above 980, it's game on because it's game on. I think it will move up. See, that's the thing. I do think that there's a potential that we could see it move in the short term. Potentially as high as 1200. Is potentially as high as 1200. I know we went to the Halliburton. There we go. We're back on Tesla. Okay. I think we could move as high as 1200. But the question is, can we buy the bounce right? Boy, this is tough. I'm a little bit leery at buying at 980. I kind of want to see it move above 1,000 and close above 1,000. Then I'm probably a buyer. I'm probably a buyer of that once again. But thanks, Jay. Appreciate that very, very much. Okay, Lululemon. Okay, so let's look at Apple. That's a very good one to look at as well. And I have a short on this one, and this one has bounced a little bit in the after hours. I did have this bear put spread. Basically, I did. I have had this barefoot tread. So let's kind of look in and see how it's doing. I do think we're going to see a little bit of more pain in Apple. Question is for how long? It's at 161. So let's see if we can go over to. Let me see if I can go over to the spread trade on this one. Well, did I get that? No. Let's see if I can get another window here and see if we can get the spread that I did have on Apple. Got to see where we're at on it. I think we're doing fairly well on it. Just going to pull it up right now. And this is the bear call spread on Apple that we did have on it. So let's kind of zoom over to that one. And basically, this is going to be it's pulled up a little bit today, but let's see kind of where it is at after hours. This is the after hours price that we were looking at. So let me clip in the correct amount. That's right there. All right. So we're basically right now after hours at this number, this 161.07 is kind of where we're at. So let's look at the fair value of that. Of course, January 26th. So we're going to look to kind of see where that is. 161. Pull it right about there. Okay. Yeah. I'm just trying to get it onto the right one. Okay, so that's going to be approximately what the fair value of this particular trade is. I definitely think that, Apple, unfortunately, it's looking like it's probably going to move lower. This is where we started here back, we started here back on the 13th. And as Apple has moved lower, this trade is looking like it's doing pretty good. The fair value of this is about $725. We did. There is a potential return of $805. I may be closing this one early. We're over 90%. We're over 80% of this right now, so we're in a good situation. But just basically, as we're moving here, it's looking pretty good. I do see right now. I do see Apple moving lower, at least for the short term. The short term. All right, great question from Nick about BAC, Business Bank of America Corporate. Obviously, let's take a look at BAC and see how it's looking on the chart. And we did get a very nice bounce. Now, you would think that this would benefit from an interest rate hike. So it's strange that it did bounce, but it not that much. I can't really say. This is, obviously one of the best of the money center banks, and it is trending well, 41 out of 197. So that's looking good. The relative strength is very, very good for bank. I typically don't trade banks all that well, I'll be honest with you, but it has a strong checklist. It's looking pretty decent. It's looking pretty decent here, coming out of this cut base and moving above the 50-day line. I probably would not be a buyer of this one just because of the market. The overall market is just not, handling things as well as I would have liked. Well, we have come to sort of the end. Let's see if I'm going to take one more question from TikTok. I so appreciate it. Any thoughts on gold? We talked a little bit about gold. I don't understand why gold isn't doing well. Oh, Micron. Let's take a look on Micron. That would be a good one. Micron, obviously, being one of the largest memory companies in the world, and absolutely should be doing better than it is, but it's still doing okay considering everything. This is Micron. Definitely like the stock. We pulled down, but I'm not in it. We pulled down to that 50-day line. We got support there, and we have a bounce. So this possibly could be considered a reversal. I'm not as bullish. Now, one thing we do have going here, if we're looking at the charts, we do have the 50-day line moving above that 200-day line. That's called the golden cross. That's a very bullish signal. But see, even though we did have that bullish signal here, we fell off the earth, and then we got support here. So this is just a tough market to trade. What I would recommend on this one, this is a possible candidate for a trade called an iron condor. I do think that we're going to have a lot of volatility on this one. And so an iron condor could work for MU. Unfortunately, the semiconductors have gotten hit hard. This is up a little bit after hours. But this is kind of what I would look at possibly for an iron condor on Micron. I probably would not buy the shares right now. It's just a tough market to trade. So I am essentially waiting for a follow-through day in order to get back more into the market. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you so very, very much. If you want to get the list for the ready list, this is a great list. This is why I bought my Matador today and Matson. They were both on the list. They did move very nicely, so that's kind of how I jumped into them. You might want to go to this free ready list. Go to this address, http colon and then www.bit.ly/DTF00775. So just remember bit.ly capital DTF0075 for the free for the free list. So until tomorrow at 4, thank you everybody so much. Tell your friends about the show. I really need some help in getting this bigger. So if you could hit that like button, that gets me out to a lot of people. I know everyone tells you that, but really it helps me a lot. if you could do that like button, that would be great. And also, I will see you back here tomorrow. Right now, I'm mostly in cash. I do have some of these spreads trades, but you want to be careful. We have not had a follow through day. When there's a follow through day, I will absolutely alert you. If you're on the action, if you're on the list, if you're on the email list, I will alert you on this. So, but you can get on the email list just by going to the Bitly, just by going and getting the free ready list. So super easy to do. All right, I will be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Thanks, everybody. So enjoy it, and happy trading, everyone. Stay safe, and I will see you back here tomorrow.